Welcome to Truish, your soft news bulletin delivered hot off the press to you by me, Daisy Maskell. And joining me as my expert correspondent this week is Milo Edwards. Hello.
Hello, lovely to be here.
Lovely to meet you. We were just chatting a little bit about pets just before we started recording, and you used to have a cat, right, Milo?
I did have a cat once upon a time, yeah.
And you lost custody of this cat at some point,
yeah,
right?
Protracted custody battle. Yeah, I had a cat with an ex, and we broke up, and she kept the cat. But I was fine with that. I was like, I cannot look after this cat. I think I was like 25 then. I couldn't look after a cat then. I think I could look after a cat now. I barely look after myself. So it was for the best.
I've always been really interested, about the sort of the settlement and the divorce around pets when you do separate. Because I feel like it is such a thing for people in their 20s. When I moved out of my parents' house and moved in with my boyfriend for the first time, the first thing we did was get a cat, and I don't think I ever thought about, thankfully we are still together, but I don't think
I was
I
going to say, what an escalation to immediately get a cat.
Yeah, is that quite, it's like, do you feel like we skipped a few steps, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, possibly, yeah.
At what point
Moving in
your
and then
relationship
immediately getting the cat.
Did you get the cat?
We got the cat, we'd been living together for like a little while.
Okay.
And then it was more like she really wanted a cat. And I resisted it for as long as possible because I was like, this feels like an escalation. And then in the end, I was like, you know what? I'll just let her get the cat. And then if we break up, she'll keep the cat. And you know what? That's exactly what happened. So.
And did you say she changed the name of the cat?
She did change the name of the cat when we broke up, yeah.
Do you know what the name of the cat is now?
I believe she changed the name of the cat to Vinny.
And what was it before?
The cat was called Jason Statham, which I thought was much funnier.
Did you choose the name?
Well, we agreed on the name. I thought that was a funny name for a cat. Although you've got a bald cat, so it would be a better name for your cat.
I did. My cat's called Ghost, so I kind of get the which I think was inspired. It was my boyfriend's suggestion.
Big Patrick Swayze fans.
I think it was by what's the Power? Is there someone called Ghost in Power, I think?
I don't know what Power is.
Oh, it's like...
You're just saying abstract nouns. Ghost, Power. It's like, are these the Power Rangers? I'm confused.
Maybe if we broke up and I took custody, maybe I would change the name because it would maybe remind me of him. But maybe
you could call it like Ross Kemp or something.
Yeah,
that could work.
Do I look like someone that is a big Ross Kemp fan?
No, I'm just thinking like, what? You've got to be someone bald, you know. Yeah. Greg Wallace. I mean,
true. You know. Oh, that might be a bit,
Maybe he'd work as a cat.
My cancelled cat.
Yeah. War. See what I love. Cat food. Lovely. Yeah.
He's selling pans now. I saw him on TikTok Live the other day.
Pans because he was doing personal trading. That was his big thing.
I saw him doing that. I think he's just like the king of side hustle now.
Yeah. All my hustles, side hustles. That's Greg Wallace.
Yeah.
He's lost his main hustle.
Yeah.
He's entirely side hustles. He's like a vegan at a buffet. There's no mains I can eat. I'm on cauliflower. I'm on boiled potatoes. What's going on?
Do you have a side hustle, or have you had any side hustles?
I'm Greg Wallace coded. All of my hustles.
Are you?
I'm not Greg Wallace coded in a lot of very important ways. I hasten to add.
In the most important ways.
Yeah, let's not in the sense of the allegations. No. I am Greg Wallace coded in the sense that I have all my hustles, my main hustles, and also they're all side hustles at the same time.
Are there any side hustles that you started that aren't in your life anymore? Did you ever get into like candles in COVID or
candles in COVID?
Yeah.
Wow, no. That sounds like a podcast though. I do have one defunct podcast.
Okay.
I used to do a podcast in Russian that I no longer do.
Can you speak Russian?
Da, конечно. This is the moment where we just start talking in Russian. The rest of the podcast.
That's funny because
a
previous episode of this, we attempted to speak for the rest of the podcast in French with our like limited GCSE French. And
oh wow,
didn't get very
bit
far.
of franglais on the
But
pod.
yeah, Russian's interesting. Where did you get into that?
I lived in Moscow for 3 years. I taught myself to speak Russian. I moved there. I became a TV comedian on Russian TV. And I'm aware how insane this sounds. And we probably don't have time to get into it, really. Not in the depth that it would require.
That's an interesting gig, Milo.
Yeah, it was pretty mad.
What was it like, first of all, living there, but also working as a comedian?
As a place to live, I mean, at the time, it's changed a lot now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was a great place to live if you were like 22, which I was, because it was like one big party and adventure and like everything was mental. And then like working in TV there was like kind of a trip because it was like they were like trying to sort of westernize the TV, but without offending Russian sensibilities. Mm-hmm. So like the sort of people you'd work with in TV would be kind of like the people you'd work with in TV here, except all of the big bosses were like ran it like the Mafia. You're sort of like trying to make a good TV show, and then there's a guy who is just like a scary man who arrives in a black Mercedes every day who's like, no. We cannot do this.
And in it? Do you have in it?
Not because I only did comedy,
okay,
so
fine.
I was just doing stand up. But then they would vet. You would have a script, and then it would get approved all the way up the chain.
Yeah.
Which would be funny because on rare occasions something would like not go down well, and then they would try and pin it on you, and I'd be like, "But this was a vetted script. Like you all approved this."
So what brought you back to the UK?
I was just like, "This is mental. Gotta leave. This country's not going in the right direction." And I tell you what, vindicated by history on that one. I was like, "This is looking a bit scrappy over here."
Yeah, you've got good instincts, don't you, Milo?
Yeah. I'm like a rat. I'm straight off that sinking ship. Oh yeah, don't like sinking on a ship. Actually, I'm gonna get out of here. I reckon rats have got the right idea.
They do, yeah, they do.
They're controlling the French and they're escaping sinking ships. What more do you want from an animal?
What a fascinating life you've led. Wow. Milo, I mean, I'm fascinated to now know what is on your docket this week. What have you got for me?
So I've actually got an appropriate story given what we were just discussing.
Okay.
Last night I found a video online of there's been like a huge snowfall in Kamchatka, which is in like far eastern Russia. And then there were just guys like jumping out of 5th story windows into it to prove how deep the snow is.
Jesus.
Just like belly flopping out of your apartment into like a 10-foot snowdrift.
Jesus.
And I'm like, you know what? This is the most Russian shit ever, because it's like anyone can be like, wow, look at that huge pile of snow. How magical. But it takes a Russian to go, I could jump off the roof of my apartment building into that and probably survive. And probably is doing so much heavy lifting there. I reckon it will be fine. And if I die, my life sucks anyway.
It actually doesn't matter. The probably doesn't ever matter in a Russian sentence. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They're just, they're so hardcore. Did you find that you became more hardcore or hardened when you were out there?
I started off more inured to how crazy it was, and then over time because I think I just got older, I realized actually how dangerous it was, because I was like, when I was 22 and then all this crazy shit's going on, I was kind of like, nothing bad can happen to me, I'm 22. And then by the time I left, I was like, oh, actually there were some moments there where I nearly went to prison.
Were there?
Not in like the sense that I'd like done anything, but just like,
obviously it's
just
Russia.
Like, just like situations where like you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and like stuff can happen. I mean, nothing ever did happen, but like there were you look back in retrospect and you're like, oh, that situation could have easily gone the other way.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I got in an Uber the other week, and I think it was being driven by someone from the Russian Mafia.
Really?
I think
that's sad when the Russian Mafia pays so poorly. You've got to moonlight as an Uber driver,
right? Yeah. I think I don't know whether this is like a common rising trend in the UK. I got in, and the guy, it didn't look like the picture that I could see on his profile.
Okay, you've been catfished by the Uber driver.
I've been catfished by the Uber driver, but like an idiot, I decided to just shut the door and
why not?
And see where the ride took me, and it smelt very heavy.
Hopefully you know where it's going to take you. That's sort of a prerequisite of an Uber for me.
That's kind of the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah. That's an immediate 1 star if you don't know where he's taking you, I think.
And it's just sort of stunk of cigars, and I immediately thought, shit, I'm gonna die. So I just started to make small talk and ask how his day was, and well, no, he asked how my day was actually, which I thought, okay, might be Russian Mafia, but he's very polite. So I said, yeah, great. And I was making small talk, and I said, well, how was your day? And he said, my cousin's just been shot. And I thought, oh God, this is really adding to the story. But then it came out that I think he was half Russian, half Turkish.
Now, well, there's a combination of what a Mafia meeting of minds. That is perfect.
Right. In which case I just decided to reel off a load of Turkish dishes that I knew and that I liked, to hope that he would take pity on me and think that I was one of his own. I'm not Turkish.
A man says I'm Turkish. You're just like sutsuk.
No, literally.
Sutlatch.
I was like, have you had bamya, which is it's like okra. It's okra and I don't know. There's a really, really great Turkish restaurant near where I live, and I order from there a lot. So I was just trying to literally read off items from the menu.
You imagine if you were like somehow driving a taxi in Istanbul and a guy gets in and he's like, bangers and mash.
That was so funny. But I did arrive at my destination, thank God.
Amazing.
And yeah, safe and sound. But how crazy.
I mean, he's arguably got the better story there.
He does. He's probably thinking.
So this woman got in my cab, she just started listing off meze.
What, in a parallel universe, he is sitting on a podcast, telling a story about me. Oh, that's fun. But yeah, Russians are hardcore. Well, I'll let you into my algorithm, Milo.
Please.
So First up, I want your expert commentary on this. Okay.
Okay.
So experts are predicting we're going to see a rise in nasal breathing only workout classes where you're given a piece of tape to literally stick over your mouth at the door. So this is incorporating, I don't know if you've seen that mouth taping wellness trend.
Right, yeah. Dipping your face in ice water type
yeah,
stuff.
like you're supposed to mouth tape in the night because it's supposed to like stop you from mouth breathing, and it helps to reshape your face and get a better night's sleep.
I mean, it will certainly stop you from mouth breathing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but this is supposed to combine that with exercising, and apparently exercising with your mouth closed is supposed to improve oxygen efficiency and regulate your nervous system. How do we feel about this?
This sounds like something that is going to naturally select the stupid out of existence. I think there's a reason why you breathe through your mouth, because it means you can get more oxygen into your body when you're exercising really hard. I also have like a blocked nose pretty much all the time. So
you'd be a goner.
Yeah, if you tape my mouth, I'd just die. It's like, well, this is just it for me. I'm gone. It's over. Bye-bye.
It also kind of like, to me, when I read it, I was like, this is giving social experiment of how willing are people to become hostages. Like, this is at the point in which you walk into a dark class and you're given a piece of tape to stick over your mouth, and you're paying to do that. It just feels like, it's a really, we're going a really interesting way in society. Have you ever like delved into or been a part of any of these like weird wellness trends? Are you a gym goer?
I'm a gym guy, but I'm very much I don't have time to be getting involved in some bullshit. You know what I mean? It has to work. I've got a cheap PT. And he's not a glamorous PT. He tells it like it is. You know, I go there, it tells me what to do. It's all fine. Like, I think anyone who gets really into all these like kind of like supplements and stuff, like the really mad stuff, I think it's sort of like, if it's the kind of thing where if you talk to anyone medical, they're like, that doesn't work. It probably doesn't work. And then people are like, yeah, but the medical establishment, man. And it's like, no, they're just science driven. They're just data. Like if it works, they would say. It just probably doesn't work. Until the NHS is going, put tape over your mouth. I'm not doing it.
Right.
It's like people who like, you know, people do things like they'll eat collagen because they're like, oh, you need collagen, and it's like, you can't just. It's like saying, well, I want to get in shape, so I'm going to cook and eat Joe Wicks. It's like, it doesn't. That's not how it works.
There is this weird thing at the moment where it's like there is this disconnect between just because you're eating something, it doesn't mean that it's gonna work or it's gonna have any sort of emphasis or relevance to the situation you are trying to rectify. I get that. The collagen thing's big at the moment. Is there any strange encounters that you've had in your gym, or is everyone like you? They're just like hardcore getting in, doing the workout.
Well, my local gym that I go to the gym by my office is like, it's very much a like head down.
Okay.
There's some odd stuff going on in there. There's for a gym as cheap as it has a sauna, which is bizarre. I think there's something strange going on with the sauna. I don't always get involved in the sauna, but sometimes people try and talk to you in the sauna, and I'm like, no, that's not what this is. Yeah. Anyway, but there's another gym I go to have the PT, which is like it's quite a well-known sort of like bodybuilder gym, and there's just a lot of guys on a lot of steroids in there.
Really?
And occasionally you'll see someone who like, you can tell it's like their first time ever in the gym and they've wandered in, like people are really out of shape, whatever, which I support. Like if you're out of shape, go to the gym, great, excellent. But I'm like, but why have you chosen this gym? I've been going to the gym my entire adult life and I feel uncomfortable in this gym. Why have you, as someone who's never been to the gym before, picked this one where I'm like, these guys are fucking nuts? Like,
that's really intense. You know what? I don't go to the gym very often at all. I guess it's maybe more of a guy thing. Like I don't know much about steroids. I don't know if I'd be able to identify like someone that was on steroids. Is it blind? Seen as you're surrounded by these guys constantly, is it blindingly obvious? I
saw a comedian do an amazing bit once where he was like, I've got an easy way that you can tell if someone's on steroids.
Okay, give me the tips.
He was like, okay, here's the rule. If you look at someone and you think they're on steroids, they're on steroids. Okay. And to be honest, it does work. It's like, if you look at someone and you're in any doubt as to whether they're on steroids, they're probably on steroids. Okay. Yeah, it's also really funny because like in the gym they have like constant ads for both like cheap mixed grills and hair loss replacement surgery clinics.
They know their clientele.
Because if you're balding, steroids will speed up the process big time. Yeah. Okay. If you want to go full Greg Wallace, there's nothing better than steroids. They'll make you angry, bald, and very muscly.
God, he's going to start selling. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not got those on his inventory to sell on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, he'd fit right in at the Toby Carvery. I mean, the amount of protein you could get. Oh, wait, it was Harvester that he used to go to.
Oh, yeah. So my gym, I used to go to, it was like a kind of like a mid-range, you know, it was a mid-range gym, not like super up there, but
it's a fitness first.
It had a sauna.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like that's the barometer now. But there was a woman, and it was so strange. I'm one of those people that I'm very routine. Like, I'd be really easy to stalk and kill.
Right. Okay.
I do the
Which is a great thing to put out on a public forum. If any listeners are looking to stalk and maybe kill Daisy, just know that it would be easy.
It's just a really great pick. As you can tell by the Uber story, I don't really have great social awareness. I would go to the gym at the same time, of course, every single day. And there would be a woman that I guess had sort of similar habits to me. She was very routine as well, but she would consistently take a stool sample. So
Excuse me.
It was sorry. I've just kind of just jumped and landed into it. But she every morning.
Well, hopefully not the stool sample.
She would do a stool sample, and we'd end up getting changed in the bathrooms together. And she'd just sort of plop this pot by the side of the sink and sort of wash her face and get her little cosy on and get ready to...
Were you going to the gym with Gillian McKee?
This is why I would love to have this discussion with you, because it was kind of one of those things that used to happen to me so often. You know, like when something kind of traumatic happens that you don't really ever speak about it with anyone else because you don't really know, especially at that time in the morning, whether it was real. But I also didn't really want to get into the weeds of why she was doing it and why she felt comfortable enough to do it clearly in front of me. But why would someone be taking a stool sample so often? Have you ever done a stool sample?
Yeah, I feel like once maybe for the doctor.
And what was
clean bill of health.
what was like, I've never done one personally. So what is the
you handing in your stool sample and the doctor's like, well, I can see you've had tabbouleh, baba ganoush.
So like, why just someone that has done it? I don't want to go into your medical history, Milo, but what was the reason? And can you figure out a reason as to why she would be doing this so often?
She's got to be into some health sicko shit, surely.
Yeah.
Either that or she's like really seriously unwell. But I don't think even if you were like really unwell, you'd have to do one every day. So she must be doing some like mad fucking like
cleanse or something,
or those crazy things where they're like claiming they can tell about your whole body, about your poo or whatever. The people who are like getting too into their gut biome. I think the gut biome is like, that's kind of real science, but like some people they're taking it too seriously. That's like a part of the picture.
I've always wanted to do one of those parasite cleanses. Have you ever done one of those, or have you seen them?
Excuse me?
Have you not seen these?
A parasite cleanse?
Yeah, you drink like a ton of I think it's like chia seeds. You sort of mix them with water and they turn very frog spawny, and then apparently if you drink the whole thing, if you've got a parasite in you, and apparently we all have a parasite in us at one point in our life, it will flush it out. And I've always wanted to do one of those. Apparently you feel great after, but the idea of seeing this big worm coming out of me, I think I'd just die.
There's a lot of men at home who long to see a big worm coming out of them. Oh, I don't think that's real. I think if you had a parasite, you'd know about it, because I think you'd be quite unwell. Jesus. And I think, again, it's something that the doctor would treat by giving you a medication. I don't think people have just got parasites that they don't know about. Or maybe like a small number of people have, but I know. I don't think so.
No, I'm quite fine with that sort of thing. I had a girl...
Unless you're living in a super wealthy Korean household.
Yeah.
And you need to drink a load of chia seeds in order to flush out the little man who lives in your lower intestine.
I'm happy to have a resident parasite, because the idea of evicting him...
He's like the house band.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a house band.
He's in there.
He's part of the furniture.
Yeah, he's part of the balance.
Yeah, no, it's true. There was a girl, actually. I think this is where my fear really comes from, of stool samples and of parasites. I never forget, show and tell at school, she revealed that her and her family currently had worms, and she was doing the tell part. Thank God it wasn't the show part.
Yeah, Christ. Just turning around and exposing your ass.
Yeah. Did you used to do show and tell?
No, we didn't. But what I did discover recently, though, is this thing about people having worms. Like, someone I know, like her nephews both had worms, and they'd like given it to like the whole family. So her aunt and uncle also had worms, and I'm like, sorry, what? And she's like, oh yeah, like everyone at primary school is getting worms. I'm like, no. When I was at primary school, no one had worms. I didn't get worms. No one I knew had worms.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't give worms to my parents. Like, what's going on? This is like stuff that happens to dogs. What do you mean they're getting worms?
Yeah. I maybe I'm just on a side of TikTok that you're not on, Milo, clearly, because
worm talk.
All of mine is worms and parasites. Have you ever had like a weird medical issue, or
What is this podcast?
Rash your symptom.
Have I ever had a weird medical
Like what?
symptom?
You've never clearly have never had worms, but I feel like you're quite healthy and.
One of my once I got a cold sore off my girlfriend's mum. That was quite funny.
What?
Because we shared. This is an ex-girlfriend. We shared like a snack. We were in Georgia. In Georgia, they have this thing. I think it's called Truish, which is like it's like a string of walnuts, and they cover it in like a sort of like there's like a sweet that they make from wine grape offcuts, and it's almost a bit like, do you remember like fruit wind-ups?
Oh, I've seen these.
It's kind of like an old Georgian countryside version of a fruit wind-up, or what Americans call fruit by the foot, and they sort of cover this string of walnuts in this. And it becomes this kind of like dried sort of snack thing. It's kind of like a chewy, sweet, like fruit and nut thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So we decided we wanted to try it. For some reason, so it's like me, my girlfriend, and her mum on this holiday. Again, don't ask. And the girlfriend, for some reason, didn't want to try any. So me and her mum like shared this thing. And then it turned out she had a cold sore, and then I'd never had a cold sore before. And then when the first time you get a cold sore, it's generally like really bad, and then afterwards you barely notice it. And so then I got the cold sore like 3 weeks later when I was in St. Petersburg working at a comedy festival, and like I just got a cold sore that was like half my face. Like, I thought I was fucking dying. Like I looked like I'd been in the Chernobyl disaster.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like from like up my nose, like down my chin.
Jesus.
And I ended up going to I went to like the American medical clinic in St. Petersburg after it didn't go after a couple of days. Yeah, got to learn what the Russian for a cold sore was. That was fun. And I was like, this can't be a cold sore. It's like my entire face. And they were like, oh.
And apparently, is it that once you get a cold sore, you're now susceptible to getting them more? Or,
Well,
is that the only...
you like have the virus,
Yeah.
and it kind of comes back sometimes. But then, actually, apparently, most people have the virus anyway, whether they get cold sores or not. And so it's kind of complicated, but basically, like, it tends to be once you've had one, there's a decent chance that you'll get one again, but you generally get them much more mildly because your body builds up more of an immunity. I don't fully understand it, but basically, I've never really had a noticeable one since. I've had like tiny things that may have been cold sores, but that haven't really bothered me. I don't know. This is the medical podcast.
What a
Here we
thing
are.
to take away from a relationship.
I know, crazy. Yeah, what a moment.
I had hand, foot, and mouth when I was a kid.
Oh wow, that wasn't around when I was a kid.
Really? What?
Yeah, it's apparently it's a new disease.
Really?
Yeah, one of my friends has had a baby, and the baby had hand, foot, and mouth, and I was like, yeah, I feel like I don't have any recollection of this disease when we were kids, and she's like, oh, it wasn't a thing. It's like a new disease. Which I was surprised at. It's quite fun. A
the
new
turning
disease.
of the millennial.
Yeah. Like the diseases I had was like, tuberculosis, a whooping cough, the black plague. Yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what fun.
And we survived. We were right, weren't we?
Yeah.
Bubonic plague never been any harm.
I don't know how we got on that medical tangent, but
2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. Bosh.
But here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Next up, I want your thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun. This was a 3am deep dive. This was a thread of people that I came across confessing they can feel body parts that they've never had. So,
Right.
do you know anything about phantom tails?
No.
Okay.
It's the Phantom of the Opera. That's kind of a phantom tale. Yeah. Thank you.
So scientists say that some people's brains still have the neural maps that allow them to feel the tail our ancestors had.
Right. Okay.
So we used to all have tails, right?
Yeah. I mean, back in the
Back in the day.
yeah.
Well, some people still have that old software and can still feel what it felt like to have a tail. Are you one of these people? Are you thinking about...
It's like when MSN Messenger tries to launch on reboot and you're like, mate, there's nothing for you anymore. There's no one to connect to. There's no one to nudge, brother.
Is this something that do you feel like you have this neural
I mean, how
or...
recently did these people's ancestors have tails? I mean, I think for mine it was a while ago. I would describe myself as skeptical of this. I know about phantom limbs, like when people have lost a limb.
Yeah.
Like, because, obviously they have it's all the software and the hardware is still there for the nerve endings, whatever. But like, I'm like, are you going to feel it? Because I feel like it's not like at some point in history the tail was cut off. It's like the tail has shrunk over time to be now just like a nub on the base of the spine. So it's like saying It's like saying a man with a micro penis can feel the end of a 10-inch cock that one of his ancestors had. It doesn't really make conceptual sense. I don't know why we're getting really into the reeds of like philosophy.
Yeah, philosophy and biology as well.
yeah. I don't buy it. That's my position on this.
Okay, you think they're all attention seekers with micro penises?
That would be great, actually. What if a guy with a micro penis argued that it was like an evolutionary adjustment, like we don't need big cocks anymore? And actually, I'm the sensible. I'm forward looking.
Yeah, I feel like those are the worst types of people. The people that go take things back to evolution.
Yeah.
When we get to that point in the argument, I need to scroll or I need to leave.
Did you see the news about that some scientists claimed they'd figured out via genome sequencing that Hitler had a micro penis?
Yeah, I saw the whole documentary.
Oh really? Oh wow, you're more into this news than me.
You've got to get on the doc.
Okay.
I think it's Channel 4.
Amazing, great stuff.
Yeah. They found
Dan and Jon Snow look deep dive, or not a very deep dive as it may turn out.
It was actually really fascinating. So they found, I think, in a museum somewhere, a patch of the sofa that Hitler.
Found his cock. No one had ever thought to measure it before.
Yeah, what an artifact.
It was cold in that museum, I'll have you know.
They found a patch of the sofa that he shot. I think he shot himself, didn't he?
Yeah. Couldn't even be bothered to get off the sofa to shoot himself.
I know.
Typical. Yeah.
Well, they found a patch of the blood on the sofa that he shot himself on. And it was really fascinating. In this doc, they managed to extract his DNA, and that's how they found out that apparently he had a micropenis.
Yeah. Well, I was fascinated by this because I'm like, number one, imagine being the scientist who's like, they're like, oh, what are you working on at the moment? Oh, you're doing cancer. Oh, I'm on the Hitler penis thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty big news, actually. Dan Snow is interested, so you will be hearing more from this little project of mine. And secondly, like, what are you meant to do with that information? You're meant to be like, oh, I've gone right off Hitler. You know what? I liked him, but now I found out he's got a small wang. Now I'm like, well, typical.
Swipe.
Yeah. I mean, it's another bad week for the micro penis community, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, it's never a good week.
Yeah, and another bad week for Hitler as well.
Yeah, another bad week for Hitler. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess probably not worse than the week where he shot himself.
Yeah, true.
But that's probably, check in your mates. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of men are struggling with mental health. But yeah, I mean, it's never good news for the micro penis guys. And it was sometimes good news for Hitler. They're actually doing worse.
Yeah.
It's never like there's a cure.
Yeah.
Whenever there's micro penis news, it's always Hitler had a micro penis. It's never like, guys, we've solved it.
Jesus.
It's never women announce they love a micro penis.
That community, they don't have much luck, do they? Tails, you can't feel your tail and you're not into them.
No.
And I'm not going to lie, in terms of how I feel about the fact that we used to have tails, I'm kind of into it. Like
You're into tails.
I could envision a world in like 2026 where we all had a tail, and I think we'd kind of be better off for it.
Are you thinking sort of prehensile? Are you like hanging from tree branches with the tail?
Yeah, like think about all the things you could do with it. You could have, there would be tail etiquette.
You could hold your coffee while you're going through the tube barriers.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, exactly.
That would be good.
You could shake tail hounds.
That could be fun. That happened
be...
to me. I was actually coming to this studio the other day for a different podcast, and on the way here, I was drinking a Coke and eating 20 nuggets out of a McDonald's box, and a woman recognised me from Instagram.
Oh, really?
And came over and very Americanly introduced herself to me and was very nice. Yeah. But I was just like, she was like, "Are you the comedian?" And I was like, "Obviously, I'm the comedian. I'm running, drinking a Coke and eating nuggets at the same time. Who else could be in such a humiliating situation?" It was also raining, and in the end, I just had to like shake her hand, but like with the pinky. So maybe a tail would have saved us in that scenario.
Milo, well, you've been a joy and a pleasure. I feel like we got through
Thank you.
quite a bit on.
I feel like we've done our whole episode and I'm not sure what we were actually supposed to talk about.
But you know what, Milo? That's exactly the point. Like you've actually
wonderful.
You've nailed the brief.
Beautiful. We spent half the episode talking about Hitler's micro penis.
It's in the title. What have you got coming up? Tell me, what are you doing for the rest of the year?
I'm going to be on tour in Australia.
Fun.
So if you've got any listeners in Australia, I'm doing shows in Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, Canberra, and Brisbane. And I'm maybe going to be doing some shows in Thailand after that. Okay. That's not confirmed.
Have you been to either Australia or Thailand before?
Australia many times.
Really?
Thailand not ever. Okay. So we're going to see what that's like. Australia's great. Would recommend. And yeah, I have a bunch of podcasts. Glue Factory, which is a podcast which has even less of a format than this one, if you can imagine. It's very silly. And another podcast called Masters of Our Domain, which is kind of a very stupid podcast about history. me and one of my friends, and an actual professional historian. We try and derail him from actually telling the story of what happened as much as possible with sort of stupid jokes. And I have a bunch of stand-up specials and stuff on YouTube.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Milo. You've been a pleasure.
It was my pleasure. Lovely to be here and talk micro penis news.